welcome to my first video on my channel. I'm starting to film videos to work on my confidence, my public speaking, my social anxiety. Very bad with all that stuff. So I'm hoping maybe making videos of things I like reading, for example, will help me get better at that. Definitely open to hearing suggestions on how to help. I know this video is not going to be great for my first video because editing I need to learn, lighting and microphone I need to learn, because right now I'm just filming with my phone in a dream. But I figured for my first video I will show you my TBR. I'm not going to go into depth on every book. If you guys want me to make a video on a specific book, I definitely can. First, I have The Last Dragon of the East by Katrina Kwan. I hope it's a standalone fantasy because I feel like there's not a lot of standalones. I feel like there's always a series. Cover is very cute, very pretty, so pick that up. Next is Anji Kills a King by Evan Lakeham. I feel like this has been all over the internet. It is a debut novel, fantasy. I think it's in a series. I could be wrong. I think this is book one of a series, but definitely interested to try that out. Next is Problematic Summer Romance by Allie Hazelwood. This is the sequel that follows Not in Love, which Not in Love hasn't been my favorite Allie Hazelwood book, but definitely interested in trying it out. This is a age gap because she is 23, he is 38, so quite an age gap there. But definitely interested in it. Next, another book I've seen all over the internet, I feel, is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This book is very pretty. The colors are kind of washed out on my phone, but it's definitely like a peach. It looks white, but it's a peach. It's a romance. He is a DJ for a radio show, I'm pretty sure, and she calls in. So definitely interested on that one. Here's the first of, I think, 3 V.E. Schwab books on my TBR. This is A Darker Shade of Magic, so this is her... I feel like this is the trilogy, I think it's a trilogy, that everyone talks about when they come to V.E. Schwab. So, interested to see it. I got this from Second & Charles used, so that's why it's a little yellow, and it's the older style cover. Next, in my TBR, I have Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. I don't know if this is the last book in the... Oh, it's a Rebel Blue Ranch novel. I thought the series was Rebel Ranch. But anyways, I got this one at Barnes, so it is signed. Yay. But like I said, I don't know if this is the last book in the series. I can see it being the last book in the series because this is Cam and Dusty's story. So the other 3 books, the children all have had their story. There's no more adult kids. So that's why I think that's the last one, but I don't know. I would have to look it up. I got A Letter from the Lonesome Shore by Sylvie Cathrall. This is the second book in the Sunken Archive series. Excuse me. I don't know if this is a duology or if there's going to be more books, but I read the first one. It was called Letters from the Luminous Deep, I think. Essentially, it's in a letter style, so you're reading the letters between people. So definitely interested to see how that one turns out. This book is the oldest book I've had on my TBR. I don't know why. I just haven't picked it up. But it's been on my TBR for a very long time. They Went Left by Monica Hess. It's a World War II book. Definitely about the Holocaust, I'm guessing. Don't know why I haven't picked it up, but should probably get to it soon because it's also beat up to hell. But it's been on my TBR for a while. Last one on that side. I got this from a little free library. Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. I like The Nightmare Before Christmas, so I'm interested to see how they continue Sally's story. I don't think This is a Twisted Tale. Like, I don't think it's part of the Twisted Tale series, but I think it's like the same premise kind of a Twisted Tale, which I've only read. I think the Beauty and Beast Twisted Tale. I'm not sure. I'd have to figure that out. I think that's the only one I read. I think I have read part of the Frozen one. I don't think I finished it for some reason. Next is this edition of Wuthering Heights, Emily Bronte. Very shiny, very shiny. It's a Union Square one where they've taken classics and kind of done like this flower theme that goes with the story. I kind of have a goal to read a classic a year because I don't care too much for classics. It's just the wording. It's hard for me to stay focused on it, but I want to get better. So that's the one I picked up. The one I read last year was The Portrait of Dorian Gray. Same from this company, so it's like a yellow with the flowers. Next book, Brandon Sanderson, The Alloy of Law. This is the first book in the Wax and Wane part of Mistborn. I have the first 2 books of the Stormlight Archives. They're just on my shelf because I'm not going to get to them anytime soon. That's why they're not really part of my TBR right now. I've been following this list I saw a book talker made of what books you should read the Cosmere in. And so I am now at the point where I start the Wax and Wane series. I think there's 4 books, so I'm not going to say a trilogy. I'm pretty sure there's 4. And then after these ones, I think is when I could start the Stormlight Archives. I'm pretty sure. But that is where I'm at next. I like the original Mistborn, so I'm curious to see how the sequels live up to it, especially because I know he's supposed to be coming out with a 3rd part series to Mistborn, like another series to it. So definitely interested to see how it continues. Second V.E. Schwab book, as I think I mentioned earlier, I have 3 for some reason. Vengeful. This is the second book in the Villains duology. The first book is Vicious. I really like that one. I like how the magic system works. I like that it's like kind of heroes, but like anti-heroes and villains. So definitely interested to see how this one goes. Next 2 kind of go together, which you could probably see why. It's the next 2 books in the Bone Season series by Samantha Shannon, The Mime Order and The Song Rising. These covers are very gorgeous to me. These ones are the ones that she rewritten, the author's preferred text, because this is the one she wants to like us to read now, like how she wants it to be worded now. These are the ones I'm going to read because I did see when I went to Second and Charles recently a copy of, I think it was The Song Rising, but it was the old one. So figured since I read the Bone Season with the new text, I'm going to keep with the new text and just go from there on those. I really like the Bone Season, so I definitely want to continue the series. If I remember hearing correctly, she has planned 7 books for the series, and I think only 6 are out, or 5 are out. So definitely going to be a long fantasy series, but here we are. Speaking of Second and Charles, when I was there, I picked up Ava Reed's new book, Fable for the End of the World. I believe this is like a lesbian dystopia, if I heard correctly. I'm not sure. This edition, I have no idea what this edition is. I don't know if it's Epic Reads, but this is what they had at Second and Charles when I picked it up, and it's very, very pretty. So I don't know if I don't think this is how the book was first came out published, but it wasn't that expensive, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll get this one. I like Ava Reed's works. I think I've read everything they've put out so far. I think I would have to double check myself, but so I got that one next. This guy, I think everyone knows. This is the second book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas, House of Sky and Breath. So this is, I don't know what I was trying to say there, but I read the first Crescent City book. I really liked it. I think I liked it better than ACOTAR, and I have read all the ACOTAR books. So definitely interested to see where this one goes. Also, I have the books in paperback, and I think the third one just got released in paperback, so that's good news for me. Because if I could help it, I would like to try to have my books match, whether it be all hardbacks or all paperbacks. Of course, like series that's been released for a while, you're going to get what you're going to get. Next book is, excuse me, If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Karamura. This is just a little short little novella. There's a lot of books from Japanese authors that deal with cats. I mean, I love cats. Look at my puzzle. But I use these as like a palate cleanser in between my fantasies, just something short and easy to read. The next two books were on a Barnes & Noble Mix and Match 50% off table. So I got The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by XCO. Very beautiful cover. I think it's based on Chinese mythology. I'm not sure if it's like a retelling or not, but definitely interested in that one. And then the other book that was 50% off, Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. It is a romance. I don't know if it's about a grave digger or what, but I just thought it was a very interesting, like, cemetery romance we got going on. And last book on my TBR, which I think is the newest release on my TBR, and my last V.E. Schwab book, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Very, very pretty cover. I love the blue. This one is a signed, I'll show those to you in a second, signed copy. I think it's like a bound in signature. I don't know what they're called exactly, but I believe this one is, I think, lesbian vampires is what I've been hearing. And then the edition at Barnes, they had these tarot cards you can get with it. So there's the first one, the second one, and the third one. I don't know if if it's a love triangle. I don't know if it's like a threesome. I don't know. But if you stick around long enough and I ever do a shelf tour, you'll see I've read some crazy romances, so none of it bothers me. But that is the last book on my current TBR. Like I said, besides the Stormlight Archive books, they're just on my shelf where all my Brandon Sanderson books are. I'm just not getting to them anytime soon, so I just don't have them with the rest. Thank you for watching my first video. I know I need to learn a lot with editing and lighting and microphone, because you'll probably hear me breathe. If there's anything specific you want to see or want me to talk about, just let me know. I'll try my best to do so. And like I said, this whole purpose of this is just to work on my confidence. It's not great. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good day, and just let me know if you want to see anything more. Bye.